Good morning, students. Welcome to yet another video of Economics, Chapter 3, Poverty as a Challenge. In the previous class, we learned about the meaning of poverty and how poverty is seen by the social scientist. In today's class, we will learn about poverty line, poverty estimates, vulnerable groups, interstate disparities, and global poverty scenario. With no further ado, let's start today's class. We will start with the first subtopic explaining about poverty line. Poverty line is a common method used to measure poverty based on the income or consumption levels. A person is considered poor if his or her income or consumption falls below a given level. When we move from one country to another, there is no fixed or one definition we can explain or that can help you to understand poverty. For example, a person who does not own a car could be considered as poor in United States. But on the other hand, car in India is considered as luxury. So there is no one common definition that you can explain poverty throughout the world. Moving on to understand the ground reality of our country. A minimum level of food requirement, clothing, shelter, footwear, fuel, light, educational and medical requirements. So all these are the minimum levels. If a person fails to meet these requirements, we can say that he or she comes under the category of below poverty line. The poverty line is estimated periodically every 5 years by conducting sample surveys. The surveys are carried out by the NSSO. NSSO means National Sample Survey Organization. For making comparison between developing countries, many international organizations like the World Bank use a uniform standard for the poverty line. The NSSO decide what is the minimum energy level required for the people in rural areas as well as in the urban areas. Here in the next slide, we can see that in the rural areas, we need 2,400 calories per person per day and 2,100 calories per person per day in urban areas, which means in rural areas, people do more physical work when compared to the urban areas. So calorie requirements in rural areas are considered to be higher in the rural areas than in the urban areas. So this calculation was based on the consumption level. The next is analyzing poverty on the basis of the income level, on the basis of the income what we earn in 1 month. The poverty line for a person was fixed at rupees 816 per month for the rural areas and rupees 1000 for the urban areas. If they have 5 members in the family in rural areas and earnings less than rupees 4080 per month will be below the poverty line. And a similar family in the urban area would need a minimum of rupees 5,000 to meet their basic requirements. These are the estimations calculated by the NSSO. NSSO means National Sample Survey Organization. Here, comparing to rural areas, people living in urban area needs more money because of high prices of essential things in urban areas. If we analyze the global study of poverty, the World Bank has determined the minimum requirement per day is at least $1.90 per day. If they are not able to earn $1.90 per day, then they are considered as poor people. Now let's move on to the next heading explaining about poverty estimates. Till now we discussed about poverty line. Now we will have a look at the figures and we will explain poverty estimates from this table, table 3.1. The same table is there in your textbook also. From this table, we can understand that as the years goes on, the poverty ratio reduced. India in 1993 to 94, 45% of the people lived in poverty. By 2004 to 2005, it reduced to 37%. The proportion of people living in poverty further reduced to 22% in 2011-12. So, if this trend continues, people live in poverty may come down to less than 20% in a couple of years. So from this table, we can analyze that in India, as the years goes on, the poverty ratio is, the people living in below poverty line is decreasing. The number of people living under poverty declined from 407 million in 2004-5 to 269.3 million in 2011-12. Now let's move on to the next heading, explaining about the vulnerable groups. First, let's analyze what is the meaning of the term vulnerability. Vulnerability to poverty means it is a measure which describes the greater probability of certain communities or individuals like backward caste peoples, women, handicapped persons, and so on, of becoming or remaining poor in the coming years. So that is the meaning of the term vulnerability. Here you can, in this slide, you can see a proper definition for vulnerability. Next, now let's understand which are the more vulnerable groups. So here you can see a graphical representation in the next slide. Even in your textbook also, you can see the same graphical representation. So from this graphical representation is highlighting which are the groups which is more vulnerable to poverty, or else they are the groups which are more prone to poverty. Now let's understand which are the most vulnerable groups which are prone to get or affected very easily under the category of poverty lines. As per the analysis done by National Sample Survey Organization, the important vulnerable groups are scheduled tribes, scheduled caste, the rural agricultural household workers, and the urban casual laborers. These are the four major categories which are mostly affected by the poverty. Some recent studies have shown that except for the scheduled tribe households, all the other three groups, that is the scheduled caste, rural agricultural laborers, and the urban casual laborers, have seen a decline in poverty in 1990s. 51 out of every 100 people who are living in poverty are from the scheduled tribe, are from the tribal community. The tribal people are more vulnerable to poverty because they are more habituated to live in the forest areas. That is the reason why they find it very difficult to come and do some work outside the forest areas. Leaving their forest is a big task for them. But now foresters are encroached by various industries, by the government policies, or by various other means. Now there is no other alternative left out for them. So they started to move towards the urban areas or to the nearby villages to find some alternative. Apart from these social groups, there is also inequality of incomes within a family. In poor families, all suffer, but some suffer more than the others. In poor families, women, elderly people, and female infants suffer more and deny equal access to resources available to the family. So the women, old people, and the girl child are the real vulnerable groups when it comes to the poverty affected families. This slide is explaining about interstate disparities. The proportion of poor is not the same in every state in India. Though there has been a decline in poverty in every state since from the early 70s, the poverty ratio varies from state to state. As per the recent estimates, the headcount ratio or HCR was 21.9% in 2011-12. States like Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Orissa had above all India poverty level. Headcount ratio or HCR, it means it is the proportion of population that lives below the poverty line. Or HCR means the proportion or else the count of the population that lives below the poverty line. Bihar and Orissa continue to be the two poorest states with poverty ratios of 33.7 and 32.6% respectively. Along with rural poverty, urban poverty is also high in these states like Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, and Uttar Pradesh. These states, even urban poverty is also very high. Rural poverty as well as urban poverty is high in these states. In comparison to these states, we can see from this map, we can see that there has been a significant decline in poverty in Kerala, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, and West Bengal. Now let's analyze the reasons why these states showing a highest decline in poverty. What is the main reason behind that? There has been a decline in poverty in Kerala because it has focused more on human resource development. In states of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, the public distribution of food grains have contributed to the improvement in food availability and thereby reduced the poverty. In Punjab and Haryana, there has been a reduction in the level of poverty on account of high agricultural growth rate after the Green Revolution. In West Bengal, land reform measures have helped in reducing poverty. Now, next we can see a graphical representation of poverty ratio in selected Indian states as per 1999-2000 analysis. Even as per the 1999-2000 analysis also, from this graph, it is very clear that Orissa and Bihar are still continue to be the two poorest states in India. And from here you can see Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir is the state that shows the lowest, the state that shows the lowest ratio in poverty. It means people living under living in poverty in Jammu and Kashmir is only 3.5%. Now let's move on to the next heading explaining about global poverty scenario. Poverty is a global problem However, its severity is different in different countries. The proportion of people in developing countries living on less than $1.90 per day has fallen from 36% in 1990 to 10% in 2013. There has been a substantial reduction in global poverty. So as the years goes on, the estimates is showing us that the global poverty also reducing, or else it is declining. In global poverty, however, the reduction is marked with great regional differences. Due to rapid economic growth and massive investment in human resource development, poverty has declined substantially in China and Southeast Asian countries. In China, number of poor has come down from 88.3 percentage in 1981 to 14.7 percentage in 2008 and 1.9 percentage in 2013. In South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, so these countries, the decline has also been rapid. It means in these countries, the decline in poverty line is very quick. And in sub-Saharan Africa, poverty has declined from 54% in 1990 to 41% in 2013. It has also resurfaced in some of the former socialist countries like Russia, where officially it was non-existent earlier. In Latin America, the ratio of poverty has also declined from 16% in 1990 to 5.4% in 2013. The new Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations proposes ending poverty of all types by 2030. Now let's have a quick recap of today's class. So today we started learning from poverty line. The poverty line is a method to measure poverty based on income or consumption levels. Poverty line varies according to time and place. In India, the poverty line is determined through a minimum level of food requirement, clothing, footwear, fuel and light, educational and medical requirements, and so on. These physical quantities are multiplied by their prices in rupees. In India, poverty is calculated on the basis of the desired calorie requirement. The accepted average calorie requirement in India is 2,400 calories per person per day in rural areas and 2,100 calories per person per day in urban areas. Then we learned about the analysis on the basis of the income. On the basis of the calculations for the year 2011, as per the income method, the poverty line for a person was fixed at rupees 816 per month for rural areas and rupees 1,000 for urban areas. Then we learned that the poverty line is estimated periodically, normally every 5 years, by conducting sample surveys carried out by the NSSO. NSSO means National Sample Survey Organization. So this NSSO, they are conducting the poverty estimation in a gap of every 5 years. Next, we learned about poverty estimates. What we learned is in India, there is a substantial decline in poverty ratios from about 45% in 1993 to 1994 to 37.2% in 2004-2005. We learned this through a table. The proportion of people below the poverty line, further it came down to about 22% in 2011-12. Next, we learned about the vulnerable groups. Social groups vulnerable to poverty are scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Vulnerability means the group, the social groups who are more prone to poverty, or else that particular group, they are more prone to become poor in the coming years. Such group is known as vulnerable groups. Similarly, among the economic groups, the most vulnerable groups are the rural agricultural labor households and urban casual labor households. According to a recent study, except scheduled tribe, all the other three groups, that is the scheduled caste, rural agricultural laborers, and the urban casual labor households, have seen a decline in poverty in the 1990s. It means what we learned is, apart from the scheduled tribe, all the other groups have shown a decline in poverty in the 1990s. Then we learned about interstate disparities. In India, the proportion of the poor people is not the same in every state. Bihar and Odisha continued to be the two poorest states with poverty ratio of 33.7 and 32.6% respectively. Then urban poverty, apart from rural poverty, urban poverty is also high in Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, and Uttar Pradesh. Comparing to all these states, Kerala, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, then Punjab, West Bengal, Haryana, all these states showed a decline in poverty. Then we learned about global poverty scenario. In China and Southeast Asian countries, poverty declined substantially as a result of the rapid economic growth and massive investment in human resource development. In sub-Saharan Africa, poverty declined from 51% in 2005 to 41% in 2015. In Latin America, the ratio of poverty has declined from 10% in 2005 to 4% in 2015. The new Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations proposes ending poverty of all types by 2030. So by this, we concluded the second part of Economics Chapter 3, Poverty as a Challenge. So if you have any doubt related to today's class, you can mail your doubts to dmcsonlinequeries@gmail.com. Thank you, students. Have a good day ahead.